Well, hello and thank you for joining us. It is a great day to be alive. I'm so excited on today because I have one of my great friends here. And I tell you, God just knows how to put the right person at the right time in your place to get you to where you need to be. So I want you to just take a moment and just welcome my friend, my guest on the day on the Tammie Show, none other than Mr. DSkato. I'm not even going to shake your hand. I'm just going to say, to God be the glory for what he's doing in your life. God is good, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
Oh, wow. For those that have watched us before, many times we think about, okay, God, what am I supposed to be doing? What's my purpose? What's my vision? 7 years ago, and you remember this, David, because I walked into a studio and you were behind the camera. Do you remember that moment?
Yes, I do.
So when I walked in, what were your thoughts? And when you saw me, like, what is this girl going? What is she trying to do? Start a television show? What were your thoughts at that moment?
My thoughts exactly what you said. This is somebody that's ambitious, and she knows what she wants, and I think that we can help her figure out exactly how to get it.
Yeah, and so I want to say this. It was challenging coming back home to Mississippi to start a television show, and I was told it would never last. No one's doing that, but that's when you know you're right where you're supposed to be, when no one's doing what God has given you to do, correct?
Correct.
But personally, I want to thank you because after I think I talked for 30 minutes straight, do you remember that?
I do.
The cameras went off and I was so clueless because I'm so used to talking. I was like, why didn't I say anything? What's going on? Did I mess up? What happened? But after that lights and the cameras went off, you came to me and you said, you have something. You have a gift. Don't ever stop because it's going to take you somewhere that you've never seen before. So I personally wanted to say after 7 years, God is still blessing. And I just want to say thank you for empowering me because that moment I needed someone to really say, this is going to work. And you did just that. So for that reason, I'm just going to shake your hand and say thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. And the best part about it, I think after that, God gave you another vision and you stepped out in faith.
I did.
So what happened after the lights and the camera? How did God just kind of transform your life?
I went in, of course, production full time, and I went on my own. The company that you filmed that show at, I left that company and I started my own, worked my way up, moved to Los Angeles.
California?
Yes.
By faith?
By faith.
Okay.
Faith.
Most of the times when we hear people say, I moved, I transitioned, they'll say, all I had was God, faith, and my bag. What did you have? What were you traveling from? Mississippi to California. What was in your, I guess, on your shoulders with you as you traveled?
Of course, God, faith, my car.
You had to get there.
Yeah, I had to get there. And my talents.
Yeah.
I felt like that my talents were able to hold me when I got there. I felt strongly about what I could do, and I felt strongly about what I believed in.
Yeah.
And I believed in this film thing. I believed in it wholeheartedly, with no doubts, So, I took that leap of faith and I went, and I'm still there.
Amen. Timing is everything. Would you agree?
It is.
Why or how did you know it was the right time to make that move to California? Because prior to, you'd done an awesome film and movie that we enjoy, I Am Woman, right here in the Golden Triangle area, Jackson, Mississippi. Why did you know that it was that time?
I knew it was that time because I wanted to immerse myself with the culture of filmmaking. Unfortunately, Mississippi doesn't have it.
Yeah.
We have a very small culture, but I wanted to be, or not even be, I wanted to see exactly, what I guess you can say the big time people were doing.
Yeah.
I wanted to be in the room with those people and, see the things that I could do better, see how I could advance my career.
Yeah.
And
did you have some divine connections already set up? Were there phone calls? Did you know anyone? Or did you just step out in faith and just say, you know what, I'm just going to do this?
I stepped out. People ask me that all the time.
Yeah.
Who did you know? How did you do it? I didn't know anybody. I didn't know one soul in California. And that is the truth. But I knew myself, and I think that, to get to that point, it's a long journey to get to that point of knowing oneself. But I knew myself, and I knew that no matter where I went, I was able to survive, just because the way I was raised and where I was raised, you know, you had to know how to survive. So if I could survive that, I could survive anything.
Yeah. Thinking about survival, let's go back in time because you've always had a heart and passion for Mississippi. And although you're living in California right now, you're always coming back home, doing some great things, empowering our young men, and going back into the community. I Am Woman was just a phenomenal film about just the things a woman goes through. And that, I think, was, I guess you could say, came from upbringing and knowing family members and that kind of sort. But you have a new film. Tell us a little bit about your new film and how that actually was birthed out.
Okay. My new film is called Dirt Road, Mississippi.
Wow.
And
why Dirt Roads, Mississippi?
because I couldn't, or not to say I couldn't, but I didn't want to use the actual town.
Okay.
Dirt Road, Mississippi in the film is the actual town.
Okay.
But I wanted to give the feeling that Dirt Road could be anywhere, anywhere in Mississippi or anywhere in general,
Okay.
because we all have a dirt road. Anywhere that injustice lives is Dirt Road, Mississippi.
Yeah.
But the film came about, with so many different cases of injustice and, over sentencing, falsely accusations,
Yeah.
people being sentenced for things that they didn't do.
Yeah.
And of course, there's a guy I grew up with that's on death row, and his story is very, is very powerful to me.
So this became something personal.
It did.
And in finding your, I guess you could say, purpose, you have to have a passion. So this became a passion of finding that thing that this is personal, and I have to be able to let people know what's going on, not just in Mississippi, but around the world, correct?
Right. Around the world, and it's so prevalent, and it's bad.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that that it's always been bad, but now it's on the verge of being just terrible.
What's the difference now than then? Is it more that we have social media, that things are being recorded, or the way the world is, they're more vocal? What's the difference now than when you were growing up and you saw a lot of the injustices with our system?
Well, social media, of course, plays a big role. But the now is we have the technology to prove people innocence.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, a lot of people won't use it. A lot of people or a lot of systems, justice systems, try to block things like testing of DNA.
Wow.
Test just we have the capabilities and they won't use it. And I think that is a flaw. And of course, nobody wants to admit that they were wrong.
Yeah.
In the original trial, and that's where okay, we have to block this because if they find out that these people are innocent, we're going to have to admit we're wrong.
Yeah.
We got to be
Absolutely.
held accountable.
Absolutely.
Of having someone spend 25 years in prison. There are so many exonerees right now that's coming off of death row. But what people don't talk about is the people that are not on death row that are serving really long sentences that didn't do it.
Yeah. I want to ask a personal question because it seems like you've done your research and you're ready and prepared. And of course, because the movie is about to be launched for the most part, but I want to ask this question. When did David know that this was something that I need to do? I need to go back home and make a difference.
Probably about a year and a half ago. It was, it wasn't really an epiphany. It's something that I've always dabbled with.
Yeah.
I've always been interested in the justice system. But I guess maybe it was an epiphany. Did you
get angry about something? Did something trigger it? Because majority of the time, God will have you, it's like he'll put you in a situation, a circumstance, and it either angers you, frustrates you, infuriates you, or you'll get to the place where you're like really sympathetic and you're crying, and then all of a sudden he'll give you an idea. It's like a God idea. Now go do it. And it's like, I have to do that? Yes, go do it. So that's why I asked, was it a time in your life where maybe you were in California, you were reading something on social media, or you got a phone call from someone, and they're just like, man, I don't know what's going on here. And so you're like, I got to get up and do something. So was it that moment where aha moment where you just, I got to do something?
Yeah. I had the aha moment, but I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
So months and months later, it came to me in a story like, I can tell this story this way. Because the thing was, I wanted to tell a story about the justice system, but I didn't know how.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't want to do a documentary, and I didn't want to tell a story that's, you know, purely based on, you know, court systems or whatever, because I didn't know how to make it entertaining. I mean, I'm in the entertainment business, so I had to make it entertaining.
Yes.
So one day this story just hit me like, you know, I can do it this way. You know, I can focus on the lives of the lives of the convicted and the attorneys, you know, and show it from a different angle. You know, so that's what I went with. And, you know, I spent, you know, the time, and I wrote the script, and, you know, it actually came out really, really good on the first draft.
Isn't that amazing how God will just download and give you something? Like you said, I just wrote a story. Like he just woke up and wrote a story. You know, somebody's watching and saying, well, you know, I've been praying and I've been fasting, and say, okay, God, give me a God idea, but you have to be still in order for God to speak to you. Would you agree?
I do. Yeah, I
agree.
Know,
you really have to shh. Be quiet. That's a word for somebody. As much as I talk, there are times when I know how to shh and just be quiet.
Just be quiet.
Okay, so Dirt Roads, Mississippi. What can we expect to see in this actual film?
You can expect to see truth. You can expect to see the way that the justice system works, but in an entertainment, you know, in an entertaining way. You know, it's not a lot of attorney verbiage and things like that. You know, it's a story. Yeah. You know, it's a story more than anything. You know, so expect to be entertained. You know, and I know that, you know, when you talk about, you know, the justice system and things like that, people are like, oh, that's going to be, you know, one of those movies, you know, about somebody being in jail.
Yeah.
We never show anybody in jail.
Okay.
So, you know, we show crimes and we show how it's covered up. We show how the system is manipulated outside of the court. You know, so just expect to be entertained.
Oh, wow. So once we view the movie, as a viewer, is there any way that we can connect with you? Is there another part of the project that's going hand in hand with this film? Just give us some insight in regards to that.
Right now, you can connect on filmincolor.org. If you click the link for Dirt Road, Mississippi, and you'll see it at the top of the page. We have we have a movement actually that corresponds with this film, and it's called A Million Faces of Injustice.
Oh, wow.
And, you know, we're getting a lot of stories. So what that is we want to get the story of people that have faced injustice of any kind.
Wow.
You know, we want you to tell your story.
I'm listening to you, and I'm just about to jump out of my seat, but we have to take a quick commercial break, because I know somebody that's watching, they've had a loved one or someone, you know, that's gone through that, and they've had some bloodshed and tears, and it's like, and all of a sudden, he's innocent. It wasn't all of a sudden. It was a movement by God. I know you all have been empowered, you've been inspired, but we're going to come right back after this quick commercial break with David DSkato. Stay tuned.
Hey, new guy. Shovel, right?
Yeah, right. And I'm not exactly new. I've seen some action.
You're a shovel. Come on.
Oh, real nice coming from a rake. Ooh, get these heavy leaves off me. Hey, man, my last gig, I almost got electrocuted, nearly drowned, and went head-to-head with a metal pipe. That guy never called 811 to see if it was safe to dig.
It doesn't take the sharpest tool in the shed to call 811.
Our guy calls every time he digs. The mailbox, landscaping, the deck. Oh, man, that was a big job.
Oh, remember that?
That was a big one. Yeah, I remember
Calls every time? Cool.
Calling 811 is so easy, any tool could do it. It's quick and easy. Calling 811 gets your underground utility lines marked for free. It makes every project safer for everyone. Calling 811 before digging prevents utility outages, legal hassles, and personal injury.
Hey, safe digging is no accident. Always call 811 before you dig.
So I can stand on mountains. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong
and I know that you are truly enjoying this moment. I want to ask this question to you. Is there a dream in your, peripheral that you're saying, if I could just get one moment, one breakthrough? Well, I tell you what, if you just whisper a prayer, my God will answer and he will deliver. I'm a living testament. I remember 7 years ago, I walked into the studio and David was actually behind the camera, my guest on today. And I was just as nervous, but all I knew is that I had a gift and a willingness to say yes to the Lord. Say yes to his will and yes to his way. And I'm telling you, he will make a way. Won't he do it?
He will do it.
He will do it every time. We were talking a little bit during the commercial break, and I want my viewers to actually hear you when I asked the question, has it been worth it, the journey of going through just walking in faith, step by step, not knowing if it's going to launch and not knowing if it's going to fail? Has it been worth it?
It has. It has been worth it, definitely. I have no regrets. I think sometimes you have to live on the edge, and I think Stephen Harvey put it best, you have to jump.
Yes.
And I decided to make that jump, and I think that, as your gifts and talents will make room for you, but you have to get out there and apply yourself.
So when you jumped, in your mind, literally, be honest in this moment, transparent, when you jumped, were there a lot of naysayers, or were you just blocking them out and you just said, I'm just going to do this. If it works, it works. And if it doesn't, oh, well. What were your thoughts, David?
You have naysayers, but the thing I've realized is that people are going to dismiss themselves.
Yeah.
People will cancel themselves out. I've lost a lot of friends since I left, that were, kind of close friends. And you can't take everybody with you.
Yeah.
So I think the key to that is, when they become naysayers and not believing in what you do, and then they cancel themselves out, you take the opportunity to leave them out. And I don't mean to sound, harsh.
Well, God has a way of pruning people, disconnecting us, because like you said, they can't go with us to that next level.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, because, they have that negative ear. I mean, they're negative in your ear. So you don't want that. It's already hard enough.
Yeah.
It's hard enough, just trying to do it. So, that extra, negativity, it's just not necessary, it's not needed, and it's not wanted.
Yeah. So isolation sometimes is good. That way you can hear from God clearly. And we clearly know from the films that you've produced and that that you are birthing out even now with Dirt Roads, Mississippi, that when God speaks, you move.
Right.
And so I want to impose this question, because I'm full of questions, because there's some people that have purpose on the inside of them, but they don't know how to get from point A to point B. And these 3 words just keep coming to me. Just do it. Whatever the it is, just do it. I hear my grandmother saying, you got to give God something to work with. If you make 1 step, he'll make 2. And it may sound, like a cliche, but he's not going to fall from the sky and say, David, he's not going to do that. He'll open doors, and you have to be able to walk through those doors. So being prepared is a great thing. Would you agree?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Be prepared. Figure out what you just do it, but figure out what you want to do.
Yeah.
I think the hardest part is that, because everybody kind of sort of know what they want to do, but do you really, but figure it out and just do it, and just doing it is not, from A to B, there's a lot of things in between, there are a lot of steps to being a producer. Just like, when we met 7 years ago, I was behind the camera.
Yeah.
Even to get to that point, there are a lot of things I had to do before then, and there has been a lot of things I've done after that.
Yeah.
I've learned, money management, time management, to be a producer. Yeah. I've learned about state incentives, tax incentives, and, I've trained myself. This didn't happen overnight, and fortunately, I had that just do it mentality. Yeah,
that's amazing, from behind the camera being, they say, cameraman, camera 1, camera 2. So now you're the producer and you're telling them what to do. God has a way of shifting your life at the right appointed time. But timing is everything. I don't know why I keep hearing that, just do it, and timing is everything. There's some things that you all have been, that are watching, maybe trying to figure it out. Stop trying to figure it out. Just let God be God. Relax and just rest in the peace of God. One of the things that I personally, and I don't know if you did this, when I was about to jump and return back home to Mississippi 7 years ago, I wrestled. I did not want to return. It
Right.
was just like, Mississippi, why are you sending me there? That's like, no. And I think in my mind, I felt like I was going to be a failure if I returned back home, you know, based on the perception of people. But then when I got here, there was so much work to do. I said, there's purpose. And so once you begin to work your purpose, you find that fulfillment. So are you now feeling that fulfillment that you've, prayed for, that you've longed for, and you can see that the people around you are growing, that they're shifting, and that you can see that their lives are being impacted?
Yes, yes, definitely. I think that if you follow God, you're gonna end up where you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
You know, and you don't know the answers, you know, but like you say, you have to be still. You know, you have to be still within yourself, and you have to trust, you know, what you're doing, beyond the doubt, and some, you know, to the point of craziness.
Yes.
To the point
Yes.
of you're really gonna pack up and move to California? Crazy. Like,
That's crazy faith.
Crazy faith.
Absolutely knowing no one there.
No one there.
Wow.
You know, no one there. And, you know, I felt like, you know, of course I love Mississippi and I want to build Mississippi, but I felt like I can't do it here.
Yeah.
You know, but I, you know, every chance I get, like you said, I do come back and I try to give something
Yeah.
to, you know, opportunities that I never had, you know, to people that wouldn't otherwise get them.
Absolutely.
And I'm always doing that, and I'll continue to do that, and maybe one day even move back, you know. And I wrestle with the idea of trying to you know, start building, you know, some things. And I'm not ready yet.
Yeah.
You know, I haven't heard the word.
There you go. God hadn't spoken as of yet.
I haven't heard the word
Wow.
to do it yet.
Okay, so when we're operating in our purpose, we're also supposed to have mentors. Perfecting your craft. While
Right.
you were perfecting your craft as being a producer, you know, what is it, film writer? What other titles do you have? Because you have so many gifts, so many things that you're doing. Was there someone specifically that you were, I'm not going to say idolizing, but you were watching and that you said, okay, this is a person that I like what they're doing? Because we're never supposed to idolize or say, I want to be like them, because you don't know what the heck they went through to get to where they are. But did you have a mentor from a distance, or a mentor that kind of helped you to get to where you are?
I've had a lot. You know, I had a lot of mentors. Unfortunately, you know, as a film producer, I haven't had a hands-on mentor.
Wow.
Now, there are people that I look at their careers and I follow their careers, and, you know, I like what they do.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's like, and I read everything I can about them. You know, even though I don't personally know them, I feel like I do. You know, and those people, you know, they're very successful in this business. And, you know, I take that as a roadmap, even though I create my own path, you know, but there's nothing wrong with knowing, you know, seeing how they got there and then figuring out your own path.
Absolutely.
You know.
Absolutely. You said something that was so vital in that moment of not having a hands-on mentor. And that's the way God works. I mean, literally, so many times we feel like we have to have a physical person leading and guiding us, and they tell us what to do and how to do it. But when God speaks, you just listen to that one voice. And so when we listen and follow his voice, no man can get the credit. And I do believe that you would agree with me. No man can get the credit for what God's done in your life.
Exactly.
You
Exactly.
know, I'm sure there were times you wanted, you know, a hands-on mentor to say, hey, David, this is a deal for you. Don't take that deal. There's some things behind the scene, but that's when you get to that place and pray, and God will wake you up 3 o'clock in the morning. Don't take that deal. And
Right.
you're like, wait a minute, this is a $3 million deal. Don't take that deal.
Don't take that
Have there been moments like that where you wanted to do something, but in your Noah, he was like, that's not the one.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. You know, actually quite a few.
Oh wow.
Quite a few. You know, and you do though. You do want to have that somebody that you can call on and say, man, can you really help me out?
Yeah.
This is what I'm having. But, you know, it's like you can ask your friends that are not in the business or they're not at the same level. And, you know, you can get that advice and you can take it how you want to take it. You know, but at the end of the day, you have to decide.
Yeah.
You have to decide for yourself, and you're going to make mistakes. You know, you're going to make mistakes, but the thing is you learn from it. You know, I consider myself, I don't make mistakes, I make adjustments.
I love that.
So when I make a mistake, and like I said, I have, and it's like, wow, I wish I would have did this way, but next time, because if you keep actively at it, there's always going to be a next time.
Absolutely, absolutely. So what would you tell your 18-year-old you right now in this very moment? Because I'm sure you weren't as wise as you are now at 18. What would you tell yourself?
I would tell my 18-year-old me, get out of the streets and focus on film,
Wow.
because I didn't start filming until I was in my late 20s. So if I could go back to being 18, but I would sit my 18-year-old self down and say, I know this is cool right now, but you have way too many talents to be giving them away.
Yeah.
Out here.
Yeah.
In
the streets.
In the streets.
Why don't you speak that to some young men specifically? Look into the camera and share that with them, because our young African American men specifically, young men generally, but I want you to really speak to their hearts in regards to that life will happen. And so this is the best time to educate yourself and prepare for life. So if you would just speak some words of encouragement to them.
As a young man, I was on the streets and did a lot of things that I'm not proud of. But as I would tell anybody, I was fortunate enough and I was blessed enough to be blocked from a lot of things like felonies, things that I couldn't come back from. Our young people are getting themselves involved in the justice system, which is unfair to African American males. So because once you get into that system, it's really, really difficult to get out. So if you're out there and you haven't made that ultimate mistake, which is taking a life or having your life taken, you still have a chance. So I feel like at that moment, you drop everything, because it's way cooler being a movie producer than being in prison. It's a much cooler gig. You get to hang out with celebrities. So, going to prison or making that ultimate mistake, you will never get that chance. So, think about, as Tammie said, life moves. You're not going to be 18 forever, and one day you're going to have to wake up and take responsibility for everything that you've done. So if you can start getting on the right path now, everything that you do will be on the path of success.
Amen. Thank you so very much. Oh, wow. I'm excited that producer and filmmaker David DSkato has stopped by the Tammie Show studio to just empower us. If you want to connect with him, the information is on the screen. The best is yet to come. Dirty Rose, Mississippi is launching when? When is it launching? Time is moving.
Tentatively December of this year.
So we're going to have a great Christmas celebration. Won't God do it? Well, guess what, you guys? My time is up. I love you so very much. Thank you again, David, for being our guest. And remember, no weapon formed against you shall prosper. Until then, be blessed.
Let's talk. Let's talk. Let's talk.
Join this team to win championships or become famous. They join because there is important work to be done, and only some able to do it. They are brighter, better educated, led, and equipped than any team in history. They are doctors, lawyers, engineers, technologists, and combat troops, all prepared for whatever comes their way. You'll find them where the lights don't flash, and the only contract they sign is with themselves and their country. One day, they may be asked what they did to make a difference in this world, and they can respond, I became a soldier.